welcome to my Summerslam preview. So funny story. Watched Monday Night Raw last night, and basically I was going to follow up about 2 o'clock this afternoon on like all the matches because they've announced like the match cards now and stuff. And basically, long story short, today has been a bit of an ordeal, bit of a disaster. Lots of things I've had to do, and basically, long story short, the stream was meant to start at 2, and it is now 4:30 in the afternoon. So anyone who was waiting for it, I'm very, very sorry. It's been a bit of a day, bit of an ordeal, but doing it now. Yeah. So this, just to make you aware, obviously it's a live stream, and it will also be like an actual video. So that should come out later on today, later on tomorrow, because it takes like ages to load them up as actual videos sometimes on the computers and phones that I've got. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, yeah, let's go for it. So basically, yeah, Monday Night Raw obviously was last night because yesterday was Monday. And so basically they've announced the match lineup for Saturday and Sunday. So this is why I was holding out on the video, because I wanted to like talk about it and what I thought was going to happen in all the matches in the schedule. So with my extremely scientific writing pad, there you go. It's like Sky Sports News Kids, this one. So on the Saturday, so these are the Saturday matches, I'll just read them to you. We've got Gunther versus CM Punk for the world title. We've got Alexa Bliss and Charlotte versus Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. We have Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul and possibly Drew McIntyre. We don't know yet, because I don't know if there's some sort of kayfabe thing, but apparently Drew's lost his passport or something daft like that, and there's rumours about the Miz replacing him, so I'll get onto that in a minute. But Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the women's world title, and Roman Reigns and Jey Uso even versus Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. The Sunday one is going to be Naomi, Ripley, and Io. Then you've got Solo versus Jacob Fatu in the steel cage. You've got Bex versus Lyra for the IC. You've got Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles for their IC. You've got the TLC match with like the Wyatts, DIY, Fraxium, Street Profits, the Motor City Machine Guns, and possibly Andrade and Ray Fenix, because obviously they had that like huge schmoz the other night, where there was like absolute chaos going on. And then finally, your last match obviously is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. So first things first, I quite like the match order, because I was thinking that basically you can't really have Roman, Cody, Cena, and Punk on. If you're going to divide it into two, you can't really have them on the same match card. So it's probably quite well that it's done. The Sunday's probably, I wouldn't say weaker, but there's maybe a bit more star power on the Saturday depending on your poison, basically. So yeah, I'll just run through all the matches and just go through some of what I think is going to happen, and this, that, and the other. Like I said, if anyone's watching, if you're not watching live now, don't worry about it. Just leave some comments in the videos later. Like I said, it will be up as a video in a bit. So yeah, first match that I reckon will come out is probably going to be Alexa Bliss Charlotte versus Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. I can see Bliss and Charlotte going over in this one just to get a good start to the night and everything, and get a face win. And I'm not basing it on anything else than that. I actually have quite enjoyed Raquel and Roxanne Perez, to be fair, but like I just think that Bliss and Charlotte need something to do, whilst obviously Naomi's got the belt and Stratton's got the belt, at least till maybe the Rumble next year. I mean, I know that's a long way away, but I can see him holding belts for maybe 3 or 4 months, and then the Judgment Day basically possibly have their implosion, because obviously you've got all the stuff with Liv Morgan. There's been members who have been chucked out. Obviously Carlito went a while ago, and Damian Priest of Rhea, obviously. So at some point, I would expect the Judgment Day either to cease, or Finn Balor basically takes over the whole thing. And he just has like a new crew behind him, maybe. I don't know what they're going to do with that, to be honest. But yeah, I reckon Charlotte and Bliss to go over in that one. They do work really, really well together. I mean, you can tell they're like friends in real life, obviously, non-kayfabe. I've actually really enjoyed them together. Charlotte, fair play, actually. She's when she's like happy, she is actually quite cool, to be fair to her. Uh, Hi Rella. Hey, how are you doing today? I'm not too bad, thanks, Rella. How are you doing? Yeah, no, I'm all right, thank you. I was just saying the stream was meant to start at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and for those of us who cannot plan their days and have stress and anxiety issues and possible ADHD, the 2 o'clock turned into 4:30. So yeah, basically that's why I'm doing it now. So yeah, I reckon Bliss and Alexa go over in that one. I'd imagine the second match, I'm just guessing, I'm probably wrong on this, but is going to be Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Look, I actually really like both lads, and obviously Zayn, I wouldn't be surprised if they're putting him in a position to win the title next year at Mania, and just to give him that moment, even if it's only like for a few months or something like that. So for me, this needs to come to an end promptly. I quite enjoy Karrion. I wasn't a massive fan of his, to be honest, when he had the group. But fair play to him. He's done some really, really good work recently. Obviously, he's getting loads of reactions on social media. And yeah, when you thought he was going to be kicked out, WB, fair play to the bloke. He's worked his arse off. But I'd like to see Karrion move on to something else. He's probably that popular now, you could probably turn him face and just turn him into a bit of a like an anti-hero or an edgy babyface or something like that. I mean, I don't know who you match him up with. Maybe you have him in a program. If you're going to keep him heel, maybe you have him chase after AJ Styles and then he wins the IC off him or something like that. Or maybe you start him against Solo or something on them lines. I don't know if you are going to turn him into a face. But yeah, for me, this needs to be the last chapter of the feud. But I've got a feeling it's not going to be, because obviously they've done that stipulation last night where Sami has to agree to every single thing that Karrion said about him. And that kind of suggests to me that it's going to carry on. And that the only other option is Sami and Karrion end up forming some sort of weird heel group where Sami admits he's actually evil or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe Kevin Owens, when he's fit and ready, maybe he comes back. Honestly, I don't know. But in terms of who's going to win, I'm going to go with Karrion Kross. I just can't see a world where Sami wins that match, to be honest, because obviously he won the match at Champions in Saudi the other day. So I'd imagine that Kross will go over, because they are going to have to give him a big win at some point on a PLE. Obviously, we know that Triple H likes him, so I can't see anything other but a Kross win for that, for me, to be honest. Third match is probably going to be, I would imagine, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul and, well, we think Drew McIntyre. Now, just very quickly, for those of you who haven't heard, apparently Drew is still back home in Scotland because there's been some sort of fiasco with his passport, and he can't get it, or something like that, and he can't get a visa to get back in the States. And I'm like, what are you on about? He's been home to Scotland before, Randy. Why is there a visa thing? That's really weird. But presumably they'll get it sorted out, but they've kind of muddied the waters a little bit, because the Miz did a social media promo, I think it was last night, basically saying he's the A-lister and he should be in the match, which is a bit weird, because you'd end up with Logan Paul and the Miz, who obviously teamed up before, and then they had a fallout. So I'm not sure. I'm assuming they're planning on doing something with the Miz, to be honest. Just the way that they've kind of like talked about him and stuff. Bit of a side quest as well. Where has Ron Killings gone to all of a sudden? Like the hottest guy in wrestling for all of 2 weeks. He just seems to have disappeared the last couple of weeks. I don't know if he's taking time off or something, but or maybe he's going to get involved in the Cena match. Actually, that's a good shout. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. So, look. Long story short, I've got to be honest. I'm not looking forward to this match at all. I'm not a massive fan of Logan Paul, but not in terms of his wrestling ability. Look, I know he gets on a lot of people's nerves, Logan, but do you know what? Fair play to the bloke. He is really good. And that's tough for me to say because I don't particularly like the bloke, to be quite honest. I think he's a bit of a naughty man, shall we say, because I've got children running around at the minute. But fair play to him wrestling wise. I mean, he's probably the best to have picked it up as a non-wrestler since Kurt Angle. Which I can't pay him a higher compliment than that. But look, I have got to be honest. I'm English. I have no idea who Jelly Roll is. Quite honestly, I have absolutely no idea. He seems like a sound bloke, to be honest, but I don't know, and I've got to be honest. I'm not particularly interested either. I'm hoping this is just a quick 15-minute match, basically, and WWE gets all the media attention from Logan versus Jelly Roll and this, that, and the other, which is obviously why it's being done. But yeah, I'll probably just go with Jelly Roll and Randy Orton. But as I say, I've got to be honest. No offense to Jelly Roll, like I say, he seems like a sound fella, but I have no interest in that match whatsoever, to be quite honest. After that, so you're down to the last 3 matches. I'd imagine they'll go with Stratton versus Cargill, unless they're going to have the Roman match in the middle and then they have the Cargill as the middle bit. I don't know, but Stratton versus Cargill, again, not like the last match because obviously they're 2 really good wrestlers, but the build to this has been, frankly, it's been appalling, to be honest. And it's not a fault of Tiffany Stratton, it's not a fault of Jade Cargill, it's the WWE writers at the end of the day. So they kind of just jump started it with Trish Stratus against Tiffany Stratton, and then they had that just I don't know if anyone saw it, but they had that absolutely atrocious in-ring segment, if I can say the word, between Stratton, Stratus, and Jade Cargill, and it was one of the worst promos that I've ever seen in the history of all the time I watched wrestling. It was absolutely diabolical, basically. And again, it's no offense to all those 3 women, obviously the 3 very talented performers. Obviously, Trish is a legend, but if that's the material that you get that you're given to work with, I don't really see what either of the 3 of them could have done. They've tried to promote it a bit more, but it's kind of like there's no real stakes to it, even though it's for like the world title. I've just found it quite disappointing because I was actually quite looking forward to this match, to be honest. I hope it's still a banger, but see, I thought that the money was going to be on Naomi cashing in on one of those 2. Now, obviously, she's already cashed in on Rhea, which is a whole massive swerve. The only thing that I can possibly think of that happens is that Bianca Belair basically comes in and costs Jade the title, and Bianca finally goes heel. And maybe she starts something with Montez, obviously her husband, maybe her and the Street Profits go together or something like that. But yeah, I see. Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to go with Tiffany Stratton to retain through Bianca Belair turning heel and costing Jade Cargill, and then they go into a massive feud. Probably wrong, but hey ho, never mind. I reckon Punk versus Gunther will be the main event. I hope it's the main event because I'm traditional. I want the world title to be the main event, basically, either the men's or the women's, whatever. Don't mind. So I'm going to go Roman Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker to be your like, I don't know, semi-main event or whatever you'd call it. Yeah, Roman and Jey are winning this. Simple as that. I just don't see them bringing Roman back for him to eat another loss because obviously I'm just trying to think. He's lost quite a few of his PLEs recently. I swear to God, he has. I think they were in Saudi and Roman lost like a tag match or something like that. I don't know if that was this year or something, but obviously he did lose that Mania, and they need to kind of keep him strong. Also, as well, I'm just thinking that as far as I'm aware, Roman's meant to be going to start shooting Street Fighter, um, like imminently. I think it's like the middle of August or something, stuff like that. So, yeah, I can't imagine the last thing that you're going to want if Roman's going to go for away for a bit is for him to look weak in a match. But then again, like the Seth Rollins group, obviously the through no fault of anyone's own. I mean, the whole thing's been a bit of a, I wouldn't go as far as a shambles, but obviously Seth's got injured. They haven't got a name. There was no real explanation for me as to why those guys were picked and what they're supposed to be doing with each other. Um, so I mean, it's looking like they're pivoting towards Bron Breakker leading that group. So I wouldn't be surprised if, when Rawlins is fit, he gets immediately booted out of the group, and he'll do the cash in, and then Bron maybe chases him, and maybe they'll add another member to the group to replace Seth. I just wonder whether they might add another member whilst Seth is away. I've been trying to come up with random people. I mean, I don't know if you, I don't know, because Damien Priest doesn't seem to be doing much at the minute, but perhaps you could have him. Maybe someone like Alistair Black or something like that. Um, I don't know. But yeah. I think with that one, like I said, I'm going to go with Roman and Jay. I just think they go over, and the reason being is obviously you don't really want to end on a bad note, but I think the pay per view, well, for some people, ends up in a bad note because it's Punk versus Gunther as your main event. I'm just taking a guess. I might be wrong. And there is no chance of any kind whatsoever that CM Punk is winning that match. As much as I love CM Punk, and he's like been one of my favourite wrestlers for years, I do not see them booking Gunther to lose the match after he's just got it back, and obviously after he lost at WrestleMania. So my prediction, obviously, if you've seen my live streams before, my prediction is they're going to keep CM Punk from that belt until next year's WrestleMania. And my really random prediction is he wins it against the heel Cody Rhodes. Like I said, I might be completely wrong, or perhaps they maybe it's CM Punk versus Bron Breakker. But either way, I would, if I had a mortgage, I would put it on CM Punk being the champion at next year's WrestleMania. I just look, I'd really like Punk. Obviously, and I'll be absolutely delighted if he wins. That'd be a really, really cool moment. But I don't. I suppose from storyline, like, why would you do it now? I mean, obviously, you've got Cena tied up with obviously his retirement tour. Obviously, Rawlins into round. Drew seems to be in and out, and obviously they've already feuded. Um, your only other big, well, one of your only big matches for me for Punk is going to be either Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. I mean, whether that's a thing going forward, I don't know. I've got no idea. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it, in fact, actually, it wouldn't surprise me if it was Roman Reigns versus Punk next year. Maybe Roman puts him over. But yeah, no, we'll have to wait and see. But either way, Punk's eating the pin, Gunther goes over, and yeah, there could be some form of interference, maybe from whoever. I don't know. Yeah, so that's night one. So just quickly, night two. Obviously, I think they'll start off with Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. That for me, Bailey basically comes in, turns heel, costs Lyra the title, and Becky Lynch basically retains. Is what I'm thinking is going to happen, unless Bailey is going to attack Becky Lynch and maybe they turn Becky back to face and have Bailey as the heel. The only other thing I was thinking of that it could do with Bailey, because I do feel a bit sorry for Bailey because I really rate her. I think she's a great wrestler. I think she's absolutely brilliant. She's a proper nice lady as well. And she's so talented, and it's just a shame she's like, obviously you've got people like Charlotte, Alexa, Rhea, Jade. Stephanie Vakia, and they could just get looked over, basically. She gets looked over for them. The only other thing that I wonder is maybe they turn Bailey back to Hugger Bailey. So she's got the tied hair. Obviously, she's got the waving, wacky, inflatable arm tube man, as they once said on Family Guy. And yeah, maybe they just turn her into like old school Bailey, or they turn her into old school Bailey, but have her as an obnoxious heel. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm going to go with Bailey to cost Lyra Valkyria, and then they set up a feud, and then Becky Lynch goes on to feud with, like, I don't know, Stephanie Vaquer if she loses the title, or Io Sky or someone like that. I mean, the Raw side for women is like really lopsided, so there's plenty of people she can work with. So maybe Liv Morgan comes back as a face and challenges Bex. Maybe, I don't know. Second match, I would imagine, is going to be Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles. Dom Mysterio goes over. Simple as that. Basically, like, if you use wrestling knowledge that I have for like years, whenever you have a big pay-per-view and the guy who is not meant to win goes over, you can guarantee that they will lose the next match. And obviously, Styles pinned Dominic with Judgment Day and the Kabuki Warriors with him. So yeah, I just can't. I can't see AJ Styles winning that match, to be honest. I'd imagine Solo versus Jacob Fatu would be next in the steel cage. Again, definitely no disrespect to Jacob Fatu, because that guy is the man. Honestly, he's going to be the man with Bron Breakker. It's going to be them two, literally, for the next 8 to 10 years. I can't wait for those two to fight, but I'm not a massive fan of Solo. I think he's a very good wrestler, but I just don't find him interesting or compelling at all. And I'm sure some of you have heard me talk about this, but that song, oh my good God. The Solo cover song is, I mean, it's literally like, I don't know if any of you struggle with nails across a chalkboard, but that's literally what I'm like when Solo's entrance music comes out. It honestly is absolute garbage. Can't stand it. But that's besides the point. I'm gonna go with Jacob to go over just, and maybe that'll be the end of it, because traditionally back in the day, your Hell in the Cells were like, or cage matches were like the end of feud, and this has been going on now for a while. It's been like, I'd imagine it's been 4 or 5 months we've had this now. So yeah, I would like to see it to end, and I would like Jacob Fatu to be paired with someone else after this, to be completely honest. What they do with Solo in his group, I don't know, because, like, as I said, I just don't find them interesting. I like JC Mateo, don't get me wrong, but just the rest of this MTF thing, whatever it's called. By the way, if anyone's listening, or later on the comments, whatever, as an old man, can someone explain to me what the hell MTF is? Because I haven't got a bloody clue, to be quite honest. Is it an American thing that I'm just being a bit weird about? So yeah, I'm just going to go with Solo to go over. Hopefully it doesn't, like I said, hopefully they can pair with something else, because it, like I said, this feud with Solo for me is just not working. It's just not very interesting, really. So then you're down to the last 3 matches. I'm going to go with Naomi, Ripley, and Io. Personally, I can see that being match of the night on night 2. I'm hoping, as a Naomi fan, Naomi goes over. That's heart. My head says Rhea, because I don't think she hasn't had the title for what, 6 months, 5 months, or something like that. And obviously she's had loads of near misses recently, and there was the cashing in, this, that, and the other. So I'm just going to go with Rhea. The only thing that's making me think that might not happen is Naomi's literally just got that belt, but maybe then Naomi chases Rhea. Maybe they have a heel thing on a heel face thing on Raw. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just going to go with Rhea to win that one. Oh, this again. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Naomi Ripley. Out of Naomi Ripley and Io Sky, I'm going to go with just Rhea Ripley on that one. But like I said, I could be wrong on that. I'm probably wrong on all of it, to be fair. The TLC match, God alone only knows. I have no earthly idea. The Street Profits, pass. One thing I'll say about the tag team, look, I don't want to sound like I'm being critical and everything, but I'm not a massive fan of the tag division at the moment. It is getting better. I do kind of like Fraxium. My son likes Fraxium. And I did used to like Motor City Machine Guns in TNA, but I just don't think they've been used very well. I'll say the Street Profits go over. Maybe. I don't know. Unless they're going to keep the belt on the Wyatts. I mean, I'm glad the Wyatts being featured again now and they've got something to sink their teeth into, but they need a storyline after this with a group, ideally. Personally, I would... Obviously, I know you can't because they're on Raw. I would pair them with the Judgment Day and just let the sparks fly, to be honest. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe you could have them against Solo's group, actually. Maybe they can have a little war and then you go into Survivor Series and then they conclude it with that. But they definitely need to do something with the Wyatts. And Uncle Howdy needs either a rocket strapped to his back or he needs a belt very, very quickly if they're going to maintain the momentum. And then your last one, obviously, is John Cena against Cody Rhodes. Now, I've gone round and round and round with this, and basically, I think there's about 5 options I've come up with. Rhodes goes over clean, wins the title. John Cena sees the error of his ways and turns babyface. Cody Rhodes attacks John Cena and beats him so badly, as with storyline, we didn't pull the trigger to the point where, like, children are crying and Cena is, like, going to be put out and he's not going to be basically able to complete the last 6 months. And he's out for an indefinite period. I mean, obviously, he's filming soon as well, I think, a movie, as far as I'm aware. And basically, Cody does something so horrendous to him that Cody Rhodes basically has turned heel and he's the heel champion. Option 3 is the Seth Rollins rumour is real and the whole thing's been a work. I give option 3 percentage-wise about 1%. I cannot see that being the case, to be quite honest, but I could be wrong. And option 4 was Cody is screwed out of the title by interference from basically someone on the lines of Brock Lesnar. Now, the only reason I'm saying Brock is because they keep mentioning his name, and like it's been quite subtle. It's like not every 3 or 4 minutes or anything like WWE's want to do, but they keep mentioning his name, like they keep slipping it into conversations. And then option 5 is, and this wouldn't make much sense given that he's tagging with Jelly Roll, but at the end of the Saudi thing, Randy Orton did not look best pleased. Maybe he RKO's Cody. Maybe RKO's Cena. I don't know. So out of all that, I'm going to go with John Cena to retain, eventually to lose the belt to Rhodes at the Boston Garden, even if he gets booed out of the building. And then I think Cody loses either due to Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed because of reasons. I don't know. Or I'm going to go with something on the lines of Brock Lesnar comes in and basically assaults Rhodes, and then they work a program. Like I said, I might be completely wrong about that. I probably am completely wrong about it, but like I said, that one, I just don't know where they're going to go. I mean, I'd like Cody to go full Homelander, to be honest. And if he did attack Cena to the point, the other option is there's always the final boss who maybe turns on Cena or maybe attacks Rhodes again, and maybe they finally tie all that up together. Again, I can't see it, but I think Cena goes over, and maybe perhaps he just goes over clean, and Cody just can't get the job done. So yeah, yeah, cool. Right, guys, that was my preview, basically. Thanks everyone for watching. Like I said, this will be available as a video, so if you didn't get a chance to watch it live, just It'll be up hopefully within a couple of hours, give or take. Maybe a bit sooner than that. Just very, very quickly before I head off, right? I just went to a British wrestling event, Pro Rev, Revolution Pro Wrestling. It was really, really good. So I went on Sunday. I've got loads of shorts, a couple of vlogs that are coming out. There's a bit more coming out at the rest of the week. So if you want to check that out, it's just under Geek Boy Does Wrestling. So when you go onto my channel, obviously if you're a subscriber, you know, but my channel's split into like 5 or 6 different things. So you've got football stadiums, you've got Liverpool, obviously, you've got horror, you've got Comic Cons, toy hunts, and other bits and pieces and podcasts and all sorts of different things that I do. But if you just go to Geek Boy Does Wrestling, all the wrestling content's on there. So you've got toy shorts, you've got wrap-up videos that I do after pay-per-views. You've got there's a vlog from WWE in Sheffield last year. There's 2 vlogs from AEW, the All-Ins at Wembley Stadium. There's loads of content on there if you're a wrestling fan. So if you want to give it a check out, then obviously please feel free to do so. In terms of stuff that I've got coming up this week, right, in terms of wrestling, it's going to be a very cool week of wrestling. So I'm doing I'll be doing live wrap-up of AEW on Thursday morning around 8 o'clock, give or take. So I'm going to watch the replay of the match, replay of the show about 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 or whatever, and then I'll come on live and do my stuff basically. So yeah, that'll be on Thursday morning. I will be watching both nights of Summerslam, so there'll be live reaction to both things, vlogs and shorts, the usual stuff that I do. Just as a warning, I am going out to one of Leeds' finest bars, hopefully to watch one of the nights, possibly the Saturday night. So the live reaction to the Sunday might be slightly more, how to put this, coherent, as it were, as opposed to the Saturday, just as a little spoiler warning there. Yeah. So yeah, got all that good stuff coming up, and then I should be, so I'm actually going to Liverpool next week for the Athletic Bilbao game. If any of you are Liverpool fans or footy fans or whatever, I know some of these cross over. I should be back I should be back to watch Monday Night Raw, hopefully in the early hours of Tuesday morning, but I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with that basically. So live reaction to Raw might have to be when I get home from Liverpool, so it might have to be the Monday, I don't know, the Tuesday evening or something like that basically, but I'll let you guys know anyway. And just wrestling wise as well, 2 events I'm going to WWE Leeds, so I'm going there on the 27th of August, so there'll be live videos beforehand, there'll be live reaction afterwards, there'll be a vlog, travel vlog that I usually do for this sort of things, and shorts of all the finishes and everything. And 3 days before that, I'll be at AEW Forbidden Door. So again, the same thing. I'll be going live outside the O2, discussing what's happened, and there'll be match. There'll be like a travel vlog, and obviously there'll be a vlog of all the finishes and everything, and loads and loads of shorts. But yeah, there's loads of content coming on the channel. Yeah, it's going to be like absolutely insane in August. I literally have, I think I've got something every single day of August up until September the 1st. So it's going to be absolutely chaos, and I'm here for it because I can't wait. Yeah, and finally, before I go, I put this on my channel for post stuff, but anyone who is listening or listens, I just wanted to say thank you so much for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I thought I was doing well 2 years ago with 50, and like, I don't really understand why I've got 1,000, but some people seem to like what I'm doing, which is awesome. So yeah, just honestly from the bottom of my heart, because this has been a bit of a rough year, to be honest, just thank you guys so much for getting me to that level. Hopefully I can get to 2,000 way quicker than I did, because obviously this has taken me 3 years. But basically, if you've only just joined the channel and you've not seen my stuff before, Like, I started this as like a random toy collection video thing where I would just go around to toy hunts and stuff, and sometimes post things of what I was going to sell on eBay and this, that, and the other. And it was kind of meant for that. And it's 3 years later morphed into this weird hybrid of horror, WWE, AEW, Liverpool, Pride, toy hunts, etc., etc. So yeah, it wasn't what it's not what it was meant to have started out as, put it that way, but I'm very glad it's turned into what it is. So yeah, from the bottom of my heart, all subscribers, everyone that's watched, just thank you very much. It means the world to me, so thank you very much. Yeah, cool, nice one, folks. Next time I'll be back on for the Liverpool contingent. I'm hoping to go live again after the Oklahoma game, which finishes at 2, but I've got some family stuff after, in and around that time, so I'm not sure what time I'm going to be getting on. It might end up being after about 5 o'clock or something like that. So that's the next time I'll be on. Like I said, the next time I'll be on for pro wrestling is going to be AEW live reaction at about 8 o'clock Thursday morning. But yeah, yeah, cool, nice one. Thanks everyone for watching, and I shall see you in the coming days. Bye bye.